Good morning, I'm Jim Ryan. News on Chicago's Progressive Talk is brought to you by Galaxy. Our top story, former Chicago Mayor Richard Daley is scheduled to give a videotaped deposition next month in a federal lawsuit alleging he ignored evidence of police torture by ex-commander John Burge. The Chicago Tribune reports attorneys were notified of the January 17th.
Kaylee, good morning, 8:51. You know, one of the added bonuses of hosting a World Series home game, as if that wasn't cool enough, well, IDOT has suspended daytime road work today, anticipating heavier than normal traffic as people head to the game. So you'll see construction resume tonight in the overnight hours. That will begin 1 hour after the game ends. But the game itself starts at 7 o'clock tonight. Now, yesterday, streets closed at 5 p.m. Addison, Sheffield, Clark. Those were the three that closed. But the main story, the Chicago Marathon. The gear check in the starting corral is set to open here in a few minutes, and the race itself starts at 7:20 a.m. with the wheelchair riders. So good luck finding a neighborhood not impacted by this. 26 miles worth of city streets impacted in an area bound by Addison on the north in Lakeview, as well as 35th on the south side in the Bronzeville neighborhood, Columbus to the east, and Damon Avenue to the west. Parking restrictions in effect. Metro's adding extra service and law.
WGN Traffic and Jim Ryan.
And as is frequently the case on a holiday weekend, seeing some of our heaviest traffic right now as travelers head back from Wisconsin and Michigan. We'll start with Wisconsin. Southbound 39, actually not bad yet between the Dells and Madison. It is slow now southbound between Albion and Edgerton, just north of Janesville. Elsewhere on the area expressways, Edens looks good, 19 minutes either way between Kennedy and Lake Cook Road. And keep in mind, Taser Chicago closures in place already on Jackson and Columbus.
Taking another look at the Jane Addams. What a mess coming in from the northwest suburbs this morning. Jim Ryan is in Sky 5 with more. Hey there, Jim.
Hey, Kai, a mess is the perfect word for this. Two crashes on the eastbound side, about a quarter mile apart just west of Roselle Road in the construction zone. Both in the clearing stage, one on each shoulder. Nevertheless, this delay is awful on the eastbound side. Stretches almost all the way back to Elgin, continues all the way eastbound to Roselle. Gulf, Higgins, Algonquin, try something. It might save you some time here compared to the Jane Addams stall. Kai?
All right, thank you, Jim. Well, right now, Jim Ryan is in Sky 5. He's got some information on a new roadwork project and a stage change today. Jim?
Kai, we're live over Southwest Suburban, McCook, and Summit, where a construction project is in place to reconstruct bridges along northbound 1st Avenue between 47th and 55th. Last year they did the southbound side. This year they're doing the northbound side. This began last Thursday with closures on 1st Avenue itself. It continues today with more significant closures that affect the Stevenson Expressway. Starting later today, they're open for now, but at some point today, the ramps from both directions of I-55 to or from northbound 1st Avenue will be closed. So if you access or leave the Stevenson Expressway from 1st Avenue, the northbound side, later today you'll want to use Harlem Avenue instead. This project's scheduled to last through the fall. Kai?
All right, Jim, you did a great job explaining that. Thank you so much.
Of that accident. So let's go to WGN's Jim Ryan in the traffic center to help walk us through this.
Lourdes, I'll tell you what, it's pretty bad. As you just mentioned, this crash happened around 2 o'clock, and that means Lakeshore Drive has been closed on that southbound side for over 3 hours now. I just got off the phone with Police Media Affairs. Still no estimate on when this is going to reopen.
President Obama on his way home to Chicago right now. WGN's Jim Ryan is in the traffic center tracking potential problems on those roads.
Hi, Lourdes. Definitely one of those evenings where if you can take public transportation, that's certainly your best interest. Starting around 2 p.m., so kind of early for a Thursday, we saw pretty high travel times, and they haven't exactly gotten better. Here's a look at Montrose Harbor at the top right of your screen. Already seeing some street closures in place as crews get ready for the arrival of President Obama right before 6 p.m.
Good morning, I'm Jim Ryan. News on Chicago's Progressive Talk is brought to you by ShopVac. An update to a story we've been watching regarding today's Electoral College vote. Indiana's 11 representatives to the Electoral College have formally cast their votes to make Republican Donald Trump president. The Monday morning vote at the Indiana State House was unanimous. The slate was comprised entirely of Republicans because Trump won Indiana in the November general election. Anti-Trump activists gathered outside the Indiana House chamber where electors met and jeered proceedings. Trump won a majority of Electoral College votes in the national election but lost the popular vote to Democrat Hillary Clinton. None of the electors designated during Trump's Indiana victory were expected to buck the party in Vice President-elect Mike Pence's home state. Members of the media did observe today's vote. Republicans had ticketed the event, and dozens of supporters were in the House chamber to watch it live. Meanwhile, members of the Electoral College in Illinois are poised to officially cast their votes today. Electors are scheduled to meet this morning at the Illinois Capitol in Springfield.
The Fire finished the preseason last Saturday in Jackson, Mississippi with a 1-0 victory over Chivas USA. An early goal from rookie forward Kalen Carr was all the Fire needed in that one. They finished the preseason 8-2-4. As Chicago soccer fans gear up for the MLS regular season, construction continues on the Fire's new stadium in South suburban Chicago. Despite that, Chicago hosted an international friendly between Mexico and Paraguay last night at Soldier Field. In Chicago, Jim Ryan for the FC Dallas Radio Network.
Playoff traffic at Wrigley already backing up the roads. That said, Eden's Expressway not too bad. Just 25 minutes now. Junction to Lake Cook Road, 32 minutes back in. On the Kennedy, looking at a 40-minute trip from the Burn Circle out to O'Hare. On the Stevenson, it'll take you 40 minutes to get to the Tri-State Tollway. A crash at Cass Avenue complicating things, now an hour out to the Veterans Memorial.